Hey, if you're wondering where my April Fool's video is, reread the title of this video. Yeah. What's up, guys? DPX here. Welcome back to another review. Today, I'm reviewing Morbius. Now, unlike what many people say, you know, a lot of people kind of wrote this movie off immediately. I was being optimistic about this movie, even with all the, you know, concerning things I've heard throughout the past week. Still kept my head up a little bit high, but I don't know. How is it after seeing it? I kind of already told you. Anyways, before we get started, you know what to do. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell, leave a comment, or I'll suck your blood. So Morbius is a movie starring Jared Leto as Dr. Michael Morbius, who, you know, based off the comics, he's like this kid who grows up to be a doctor, except he's got, like, you know, a disease. And I actually found that stuff interesting. And he also meets this other kid, Milo, and he also has the same disease as Morbius. And, you know, I found their friendship very interesting at the beginning, and then it didn't go anywhere. That's my main issue with this movie. Nothing, like, really, like, goes anywhere. Nothing gets paid off. Nothing gets resolved, basically. There's even a final fight at the end where it really doesn't feel satisfying. I mean, one of the things is that, like, the two people in the fight are both, like, you know, their colors are dark, you know, because they're both vampires. And, you know, they're in a nighttime setting, and there's fucking bats everywhere, so you can't tell what's going on. And then, I don't want to get into spoilers yet, but then there's, like, this little line that's shared, and then, you know, maybe, oh, but no. It's the most I'll say on that. It's frustrating, though. I thought this movie, like, at worst, I actually thought this movie was I was gonna see this movie. Sorry if you hear the wind in the back, but I thought at worst, I thought I would see this movie and get nothing. And while I did kind of get nothing from this movie, I mean, I feel like the pieces were there to make this good. Like, as much as people really doubted this movie, and as many people will not be seeing, like, when I was there, it was me, my boy ML, shoutouts to ML, and probably someone else who I noticed one other person in the theater. That's it. So, as many people will not be seeing this movie, I actually think that the pieces were there for a good movie. And I actually don't think it was always bad. I think this movie got murdered in the editing room. I really do. Like, I think they can make a director's cut for that. I'm not starting a hashtag release the Morbius cut, but I think I think there are other scenes in the, because, like, there has to be. Every scene in this movie feels like a collection of scenes, as opposed to a fucking movie. There doesn't feel like any flow. There feels like loose ties to each scene to be like, this happens, then this happens. It almost doesn't even feel like that. It almost doesn't feel like this happens and this happens. It feels like, here's this, here's that, here's all this, go make a fucking movie, put them together, kinda order them, but who cares, really? Just fucking release it. And I like, that's what's, like, there are many things in this movie that, like, get set up and, you know, get explored for, like, 2 seconds that I feel like could have worked, and they don't. I don't want to say they don't work, because we don't see, like, if they, like, if they start a plot line, for example, and, like, you know, they just don't go anywhere with it, you know. It's one thing if it doesn't work. If it doesn't, at least you tried if it doesn't work. Like, they didn't even go anywhere with it. Like, the relationship between Morbius and Milo doesn't really go anywhere. There's these two cops in the movies. They don't do jack shit. I forgot they were in the movie. You know, the relationship between Morbius and, you know, the love interest, that doesn't go anywhere. The fucking ending doesn't go anywhere. The movie just ends. It just ends. I've heard people say that this movie feels like it went on forever. No. It did not feel. It did not feel. It did not drag. The movie definitely did not drag, but like it did the opposite of drag. I mean, the opposite of drag would be like, you know, it was a blast to watch. It really wasn't. It's a fairly watchable movie. I can give it. It's watchable. People are saying it's the worst comic book movie, but this does. Like, I understand when people say this feels like a Marvel movie from before the MCU. You know, where they were doing good with the X-Men movies, where they're doing good with the Raimi Spider-Man movies, and they're doing good with the Blade movies, but like they released other like bad stuff like Daredevil or the Punisher or Ghost Rider or Fantastic Four that were just like that were just bad. This movie's bad. It's not good, and I can't do this review. I can't do this review without talking about the post-credit scene or scenes, which I guess it is a bit of a spoiler. So if you don't want to know, you can click on the chapter and you can get right to the conclusion. So there were many, you know, reports saying that all the ties to Spider-Man, you know, the mural saying like murderer or you know, the Daily Bugle or the Oscorp Tower, or the reference to Venom or Michael Keaton being in the fucking movie, you know, all that was cut, and Michael Keaton was just an after-credit scene. Michael Keaton was just an after-credit scene, and I'll get into that in just a sec. But all the cut stuff, that's not necessarily true. Like, there's the reference to Venom. Yeah, actually, yeah, that was it. That's all they had. No mural. Alright, that scene was not in the movie. You know, no Oscorp Tower, no Daily Bugle, none of that was in the movie. Which, I can't really hold that against the movie. You know, that's the trailer. The trailer had those scenes. The movie, they took the movie, unless this was all cut out, they took the movie and made a trailer out of it, and maybe added those scenes in. So, false marketing is not a problem with the movie. It's a problem with the marketing. But the post-credit scenes, you know, there's two of them. One of them is, you know, Michael Keaton goes to this Morbius universe from the MCU, like after the end of No Way Home. And it's like, what? That's not what happened in No Way Home. You literally just retconned, or I don't want to say retcon, but you literally just like, you fucked your own continuity of a movie you made like less than half a year ago. And then the next post-credit scene is very weird, by the way. It was like, I mean, it's bad in and of itself, but like the way it was put together felt very odd. But basically, Michael Keaton goes up to Morbius and they're like, hey, you want to team up? We're some bad guys who can do some good. Morbius in this movie is not a bad guy. He's like an anti-hero. He wouldn't like consider himself a bad guy. And neither is Michael Keaton, fucking Vulture in Homecoming. He's not really a bad guy. So yeah, in conclusion, Morbius, I was optimistic about it. I lowered my expectations after all these reports. Yeah, it's just not good. This movie's not good. You know, it felt choppy. I don't think I mentioned that, but none of the scenes felt like... It almost felt like a made-for-TV movie with a bit of a higher budget. And it's just... I don't know, are they gonna make a Morbius 2? Like, I don't think I would care enough to see that, if I'm gonna be honest. I gave it a shot, but it's just not it. I think you can skip this one. I'm gonna give Morbius a 4.5 out of 10. Anyways, yeah, that was my thoughts on Morbius. What do you guys think? Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? Have you seen the movie? Have you not seen the movie? If you haven't seen the movie, do you like the movie? Do you not like the movie? Anything about Morbius, let me know down below. Anyways, check the video, comment, subscribe, or I will suck your blood. Bye!